Welcome back to Pre-Algebra Chapter 7, Section 2 in this book. And what we're learning today is percents and proportions. And once again, this is classic pre-algebra. Some of the stuff we do is borderline, but this, 100% pre-algebra. See what I did there? 100%. Alright, so your book is finally getting around to teaching you my formula. Is over of equals percent over 100, but they call it A over B equals P over 100. I think mine is much better. You might forget what A and B stand for. You're going to remember this. Now, when you do these problems, I want you to write your formula every single time and then substitute, sing the song, substitute, and then solve it, okay? If you write this formula every single time, it will put it in your brain. And then when you need it on the SAT, the ACT, or college entrance exams, or college tests, this actually is a college thing you'll do too, then you'll know it and it'll be there in your brain when you need it. You're putting it in your toolbox, in your tackle box. Like if you're going fishing, you might need a knife. You gotta have a knife in your tackle box. Okay, now let me tell you a little of the background story of this formula. I started, for a lot of people, for percents, they can just kind of think about it and it makes sense to them and they can just kind of do it. They just sort of have a gut feeling of knowing what to do. It's a very small percent of people, but there's a group of people who can do this, and I'm actually pretty good at it. And I used to work at a jewelry store where we didn't use a cash register. We were one of the swankiest jewelry stores in Atlanta. That's too low class using a cash register. You just sit down with your client and you do out the math on a calculator and tell them how many tens of thousands of dollars they're going to pay for this jewelry, or even $1 million kind of thing. It was swanky. And when I was there were all these ladies there who they would need to figure out the tax, or if something was on sale or whatever, and they never could do it. So finally I would keep trying to explain to them how to think it out, and they never could. And finally we all just agreed that they would work with the customer until it was time to actually for the customer to pay, and then they'd say, we're going to bring in our payment specialist, Lisa, and they would bring me, and I would sit there and I'd figure out whatever percents needed to be figured out, because it was impossible for me to teach them. Then my husband, he has a bunch of college degrees, and he had gone back to college later after this, and his teacher taught him this formula, and I was like, this puts it in a formula where you don't have to be able to think it in your head and intuitively understand it. You can just do this formula. So it's is over of equals percent over 100. They will give you two of these three things, the is, the of, or the percent. You cross multiply, solve for x for the other one. For example, what percent? The question word goes with percent, so percent is my x. Of 7. Of goes with 7, so 7 is the of. Is 4. Is goes with 4, so 4 is the is. Now I cross multiply, draw my cross. 4 times 100 on this side, 7 times x on that side. 4 times 100 is 400. Bring down what you didn't mess with, equals 7x. Now we can ask our question. What's our question? Why is x not alone? That's being multiplied by 7. What's the opposite of multiply by 7? Divide by 7. What I do to one side, I do to the other. These cancel out, and it's going to be 400 divided by 7. Now, this would be the answer in Algebra 1. We like improper fractions better than mixed numbers in Algebra 1. But in pre-algebra, they still treat y'all like middle school kids and want you to do mixed numbers. But so if you put this on the test, I would count it right. But if you look in the back of your book for an answer, it's going to be this one. So you can make this into a mixed number using your calculator, going 400 divided by 7, and it would give you 51 plus a decimal, and then do math, enter, and it would change it into that for you. So no, I'm pretty sure. I know I'll at least do 400. It'll reduce fractions, but I think I'll do a mixed number too. All right, so here's another one. What number is, so my thing that I'm looking for, my is, has the question word with it. So I put my X there. 24%, 24 is the percent that goes here, of 200. Of is got the number 200 goes with the word of. Now what do? Cross multiply. I draw my cross every single time. X times 100 is 100x. 200 times 24 is 200 times 24. Bring down what I didn't mess with, the 100, the x, and the equals. 24 times 200 is 4,800. Y is x not alone, it's being multiplied by 100. Divide both sides by 100, and if you're dividing by 100 and there's zeros, you get to just mark them out. It's a fun little math shortcut. So our is 48. 48 is 24% of 200. What percent of 72 is 54? So what percent? Where's my x? It's the percent this time. Of 72 is 54. Okay, so now I draw my cross. 72x on one side, 54 times 100 on another. 5400 is 72x. Why is x not alone? It's being multiplied by 72. What's the opposite? Divide by 72. What I do to one side, I do to the other, and those cross out. So now I can't just mark out zeros. I have to do it on my calculator. 5400 divided by 72 is 75. So I know that what I was looking for, what percent is 75%, is 54 over 72. All right, so this is pretty fun. Pretty easy, I think, with our formula. Memorize this formula, and in fact, I think I had y'all write it in the front of your book. Look in the front of your book if you got a book from me, and this formula is probably written in it because it's so important. I want you to know it. All right? So this is fun, classic pre-algebra, pretty easy stuff. Math is great.